Yad.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 25th day of April 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. This morning, we want to give a big shout out again to our two Radio Cayman colleagues, DJ Lynn and Mr. Joel Wilson. They're all back on island, and wish them all that is best as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. For the Record, as you know, is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is designed to keep you aware of what's happening on the local as well as the international scene. I am your host. My name is Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, of course, we will have a candidate in the studio, paid time, Deputy Premier and incumbent candidate for Georgetown Central in the upcoming general elections. Mr. Kenneth Bryan will be in the studio with us from 7:45 until 9 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock we will have members of the Cayman National Party, Ms. Jeeva Rivers, Ms. Julie Hunter, and Mr. Jordan Rivers. Yes. They will be in the studio from 9 o'clock as well. So very quickly, before we go to our commercial break, let's look at the birthday shout-outs, again brought to you by Coca-Cola as well as Yum. So today, Ann Morgan is celebrating a birthday. Also, Tori Jackson celebrating a birthday today. Tomorrow, Tanya Ramjeet, Rich Vern Ebanks, and Denise Warren celebrating birthdays as well. Then on Sunday, Vashti Borden celebrating a birthday on the 27th. MacArthur Lewis, as well as Letitia Ebanks. So those are the birthday shout-outs for today as well. Very quickly, hopefully I can cover this for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. There's a notification that went up by the elections office yesterday afternoon, speaking to the fact that there have been changes to the static mobile voting locations in Cayman Brac. Due to unforeseen circumstances, static mobile voting locations for Cayman Brac West and Little Cayman and Cayman Brac East electoral districts have changed. So the update is for Cayman Brac West and Little Cayman, the old district administration building, 19 Colonel Street, that is where it will take place. Also for Cayman Brac East, the recreational facility, 263A Stake Bay Road, Cayman Brac, that's where that will take place as well. And they also point out that the mobile voting stations will be open 8 a.m. Today, Friday the 25th, to accommodate mobile voters in Cayman Brac as well. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will have Deputy Premier, incumbent member for Georgetown Central in the studio with us, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Clara Eden, Certificate of Honor 1870 through 1969. Nurse Clara Eden was an extremely loyal and faithful midwife who traveled to all outer districts to deliver babies. She apparently had a record of the babies she delivered, along with the names of their parents in her first house, which burned down. At that time, she confirmed that she had delivered 1,500 babies, and when she retired, she estimated she had delivered 2,000. She took excellent care of both mother and baby for 9 days at the cost of £2. Nurse Clara was a faithful member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. She was the only person in Grand Cayman who knew how to do starbread handwork, and in her spare time, she taught a few people how to do it.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Hey Cayman parents, we get it. You're underslept, over-trafficked, you can barely find your sanity in the morning because you're still trying to find your kids' shoes and lunch boxes. Let Yum take some of the stress away. Every day, over 3,000 students enjoy delicious, nutritious meals from Yum. Over 5 million lunches served and counting. Private school parents? Browse the Yum Cayman app and order up to a month in advance or last minute by 12 a.m. the night before. Government school students? Just drop by the Yum canteen. No pre-orders needed. Yum can't help you find your sanity, but we can sure make your mornings just a bit easier. Check out daily menus at myschoolpos.com or visit yumcayman.ky to learn more.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I just want to make one correction in terms of those persons who will be coming on the show at 9 o'clock this morning. Miss Julia Hunter, Mr. Jordan Rivers, and Miss Jeeva Richards. Not Rivers, I keep making that error. So Miss Jeeva Richards. Meanwhile, folks, if you are watching on YouTube or if you hear the voice, no, neither of us slept in the studio last night, even though we left here after 9 o'clock, probably minutes to 10. But it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now the sitting Deputy Premier, incumbent member for Georgetown Central in the upcoming general elections Honorable Kenneth Bryan. Mr. Bryan, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Thank you so much, Mr. Corner, and good morning to your listening audience here in the Cayman Islands, across the sea, locally, in your cars, on your way to work, at home, on your phones. It's a pleasure to be here. As you mentioned earlier, probably in your show, today is a paid show for promotion of or highlighting the fact that I'm running for office. This morning, I don't have a lot of time and a lot to talk about, so I intend to speak to you about some notable things that I've done in my last 4 years in office on behalf of the good people of Georgetown Central and the Cayman Islands, and also some of the things we plan to address as a representative for Georgetown Central, as well as a member of the People's Progressive Movement. But before I do that, I want to invite everyone to my last solo political meeting that I'll be having in Georgetown Central. All the other ones are going to be with my team on the Progressives. Okay. But tonight is a very special night for me because it's the last solo meeting with the good people of Georgetown Central. The other two meetings that are left between now and election are going to have some other candidate on there. So this one is more intimate. This one is between me and the good people of Georgetown Central. And that meeting tonight starts at 7 p.m. It's on Shedden Road at the new Flowers parking lot. Right across the marches on Shedden Road, where for those old school persons who remember Mr. Patterson's shop, it's across the street from Mr. Patterson's shop, right next to Central Plaza on Shedden Road. And tonight is not going to be your formal meeting. It's going to be more of a meet and greet social. Mm-hmm. We've had a long Easter weekend, so I don't want to bombard people with, a lot of politics. I will be giving a last solo speech for about 30 minutes. I got some special guests coming to do some endorsements tonight, so I encourage everybody to come. Some notable, good, strong Georgetowners that I know that all of us know and love tremendously to come tonight to give me an endorsement. And after we do the endorsements and I deliver my last solo speech, I want to just mingle and sit, eat, listen to some good old Cayman music, and mingle together. I might even have the domino table set up, play some dominoes. I have my good people from Central cooking tonight, Miss Lucille from Scranton, and Pauline Spellman, and then Pauline from Central. So you're going to get some good old Cayman food. But I want it to be an opportunity for us to sit and relax and speak, particularly for our seniors, those who are listening. If you get an opportunity, if you need, son or daughter or somebody to pick you up and take you down, tonight is going to be a good social event. I don't want it to be overwhelming with the politics of things. I think people are kind of getting overwhelmed now and ready for the election to be over. So I want it to be more intimate. I think a representative needs to be more about building the relationship between them and their representative.
And what time that starts?
That starts at 7 p.m. tonight. Okay. And I hope to invite everybody. You don't have to be from Central. You can be from West Bay. You can be from Bordentown, North Side, East End. You can even be from Cayman Brac and any part of Georgetown, because as a representative, though I'm honored to be elected by the good people of Georgetown Central, I do represent every Caymanian. And I'm also a representative of all the residents of this country. All leaders represent everybody. It's just the electoral process is done by constituency. So, OC, Mr. Corner.
No, you can call me OC.
No, my mom will be like, listen, don't forget your manners, young man. I want to talk about my journey to where I am today. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's truly an honor to be the deputy premier of this country, and I've done so based on the support and the good people of Georgetown Central. And I thank them, and I love them, and I appreciate them, and I'm humbled by their support for me over the last 8 years. I want to continue this journey. I think that there's so much more to do, and only now am I hitting my peak of my political maturity and capability. What I've learned over the last 8 years, I don't think you can learn in any classroom. I've had the opportunity to serve 4 years in opposition and 4 years in government. I truly understand what it's going to take to address these severe problems that we're facing, from cost of living, to immigration, to unemployment amongst Caymanians, and particularly housing, which is a big deal for my people in Georgetown Central. And I have a plan about housing, because the good people of Georgetown is concerned they shouldn't have to be moving to West Bay or moving to Northside or Bordentown for housing. And I'm glad to say that in the PPM's plan and in their manifesto, which I encourage persons to come out tonight. I can give you a copy. I've sent out the copy of the manifesto to everybody via WhatsApp, those who I have numbers for, where we're going to address housing in many different ways. But the one that is exciting the most is the 25 acres that the government owns land on Linford Pearson Highway. And my number one commitment for the next 4 years is housing, particular housing and unemployment amongst our people. Hence the reason my focus has been so strong on the management, better management of our immigration system. Because immigration is not only about keeping people out, but it's about management of labor. Because when we have uncontrolled, unmanaged immigration, meaning allowing people to come in, that's more persons to compete from a labor perspective. So the reform within our immigration policies, from even within the civil service rollover policy, where they're subject to the same expectations as private sector, that will free up a lot of room for Caymanians to be in the number one company in the country, which is the civil service, which comes with good benefits, good salaries, and more job security. I think the civil service should be full of all Caymanians. And the reforms that we plan to do in our immigration system will allow better labor opportunities and protections for Caymanians, because that's the top three things I've heard from the good people of Georgetown Central is they want a piece of their country. They want a home. They want a comfort of that. They want to ensure that not only those who are unemployed now, but their children that are coming up are going to have a job opportunity. And the third thing is for the seniors to make sure that, particularly those who are coming to retirement, they're worried about healthcare costs and being able to afford it. So those are the top three things among many others that are in the manifesto, but I've heard from my good people at Georgetown Central, and I'm happy to say that we have a strong plan to address those, to either reduce the cost and improve the opportunities within those areas. But before I go on to that, I want to talk a little bit about...
We just have about a minute before we go to our 8 o'clock news. So,
okay. When you come back, I want to talk about the things that we're going to be focused on and what I've done so far. But I want persons to know a little bit about how I started. I have a degree in business management. I'm also a certified backpack journalist from my days when I was a reporter. I'm a married man with 2 amazing daughters. I'm a family man. I'm a man of the soil in every sense of the word. I'm happy to say that actually where I was born was right behind Patterson's shop by Miss Elsa Borden. My mom and dad was living there. My father's name is Vernon McAllister Macfield. I'm actually a Macfield, but my mom and dad wasn't married when I was born. And my mother is Donna Bryan from Cayman Brack, Spot Bay. So I have the truest sense of a Caymanian, if you can get it. Got my genes and genetics from all over the islands. And with my experience over the last 44 years, not only in private sector, but in our community, but in Parliament, I think I'm the best person for the job. So when we get back from the break, I'm going to tell you about the things that I've done so far the last 4 years and the things I want to do and continue to do for Georgetown Central for the next 4 years.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bryan. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Change is in the bag at Foster's. We've taken an important step in our commitment to a cleaner, greener Cayman by removing single-use plastic bags from our checkouts. Bag for better with our durable, cost-effective, reusable bags, thoughtfully designed to help reduce plastic waste and protect the natural beauty of our islands. By choosing reusable and using it often, you become part of the bigger picture, a community-driven effort to reduce waste and care for our environment. Every small choice adds up to something greater. So bring your bags back, and we'll make a real impact together. Foster's. Better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brack and Little Cayman.
Silver wings
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller.
Folks are voting. I mean, I don't see any sign of voter apathy as it relates to these kind of numbers.
Supervisor of Elections there, Wesley Howell, at Radio Cayman's special referendum panel Thursday night.
As of Saturday after Good Friday, we issued a total of 1,036 postal ballots. So in 2021, we issued 582. So we're almost double. As it relates to mobile, we've received approximately 1,500 mobile voting applications. In 2021, that was 719.
On April 30th, along with choosing their member of parliament, voters will have the option of voting on 3 non-binding referendum questions on a national lottery, cruise berthing infrastructure, and decriminalization of small amounts of marijuana. Deputy Premier and Tourism Minister, the Honourable Kenneth Bryan, says there is value in casting your vote, even though these are non-binding.
I think that you have data to hold the government of the day accountable to those results. They can't say, no, they shouldn't deal with it, or yes, they should deal with it when the data results will be released with an independent agency like the Elections Office.
You can watch the full referendum panel on Radio Cayman's YouTube channel. And make sure you know where to go if you're heading to the polls on Wednesday. Here's CIG TV's Elizabeth Charles.
The Elections Office has issued an important reminder for all voters to confirm their polling locations ahead of the upcoming election and referendum taking place on Wednesday, the 30th of April. This is especially critical for residents in the electoral districts of Boddentown East, West Bay North, and Georgetown South, as polling locations in these areas have changed since the last election in 2021. Knowing where to vote is an essential step in ensuring your vote is heard in this democratic process. To find your designated polling location, simply visit the Elections Office website at elections.ky. On Election Day, all polling stations will open at 7 a.m. and will close promptly at 6 p.m. The Elections Office encourages all eligible voters to make a plan. Check your polling station's location in advance and be ready to participate on Wednesday, April 30th.
Scholars Park sees some evening restrictions. The Public Lands Commission says effective immediately, all indoor facilities at the West Bay complex, including restrooms, will be closed from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. This measure, quote, supports the ongoing upkeep, safety, and proper use of the park's amenities. The PLC says parks are intended for recreational use, not, quote, designed for overnight stays, personal shelter, or extended occupancy after closing. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The Norwegian Refugee Council has told the BBC that many people fleeing the paramilitary RSF in Sudan's civil war have died from starvation or thirst in temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. The aid agency said the town of Taila in North Darfur has been overwhelmed by people escaping the violence in the city of Al-Fasher. Meanwhile, the UN's food agency says it's reduced the food aid it can deliver in famine-hit areas of Sudan due to unprecedented funding problems. The World Food Programme also says it's planning to lay off about 6,000 staff, or about 30% of its workforce. Pakistan's Senate has rejected India's accusations that Pakistan was linked to an attack on tourists in Indian-administered Kashmir on Tuesday. India says 2 of the 4 attackers who killed the 26 civilians were Pakistani militants. One of Russia's most senior generals has been assassinated by a car bomb in a Moscow suburb. Yaroslav Moskalik was walking past the parked vehicle when it exploded. The US envoy Steve Witkoff has arrived in Moscow, where he'll be holding talks with President Putin on how to end the war in Ukraine. A potential deal is thought to require Ukraine to give up large areas of its territory, such as Crimea. But the main organisation representing the peninsula's Tatar people has warned that recognising Russia's annexation of Crimea would encourage what it called ethnocide against them. More than 100 foreign delegations, including heads of state and royalty, are expected in Rome ahead of the funeral of Pope Francis on Saturday. Tight security arrangements are in place. That's the latest BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Bordentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Bordentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Life is full of challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. At the Institute for Essential Care, we're here to support, guide, and empower you and your family through every stage of life. The Institute for Essential Care. Call us today at 1-345-325-7556. Email us at therapy@caymanessentialcare.com. Visit us online at www.caymanessentialcare.com.
The 6:15 Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
When cruise passengers spend money, who really benefits? Cruise lines keep up to 70% of passenger spending through onboard shopping, cruise-owned tours, and exclusive port deals. That means less money for Cayman's local businesses, tour operators, and workers. A cruise berthing facility doesn't change that. It only strengthens the cruise line's control while Cayman carries the cost. Let's keep our economy working for us. Vote no on April 30th.
Cayman's tourism should serve Caymanians first. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hello, Cayman. It's Heyman Rankin, your candidate for Bordentown West. I'm inviting all of you to my final public meeting before the big vote on Election Day. It's happening this Tuesday, the 29th of April at 7 p.m., right at the entrance to Northwood Road. This is our last chance to come together and discuss the issues that matter most before we head to the polls on the 30th. I'll be sharing my vision and connecting with each and every one of you. I am Heyman Rankin, and I'm ready to listen, ready to lead, and deliver the change Cayman desperately needs. See you Tuesday, 7 p.m. at the entrance of Northwood Road.
Ranking is the one for we. Give him the vote and you will see.
That was a paid political announcement.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 79%. The barometric pressure is 29.95 inches and rising. The wind is east-northeast at 7 knots. Overnight low temperature was 76 degrees. Synopses indicate moisture being affected from the Central Caribbean will allow for the possibility of isolated to widely scattered showers across the Cayman area today. Gentle winds and seas will continue to prevail across the Northwest Caribbean through the next 24 hours as a ridge of high pressure continues to weaken. Radar images show numerous showers around the sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, drifting towards the west-southwest. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s with a heat index near 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, mainly fair skies with partly cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers, mainly across Cayman Brac and Little Cayman for tonight as well, and temperatures falling to the mid to upper 70s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, increasing and becoming 10 to 15 knots tonight. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Low tide will be this afternoon at 1:51, high tide tonight at 8:21. The sun will set this evening at 6:45 and will rise tomorrow morning at a minute after 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Monday morning, and thereafter a decrease in chance for showers alongside an increase in winds and seas are expected as an area of high pressure builds across the southeastern United States. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Britke. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britke, where people come first.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, site screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning again. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Steady bit flowing traffic coming off of the Esteli Tibbetts Highway. As we look to Bobby Thompson Way, traffic is flowing moderately. Coming from the east, traffic flowing at a good pace in both directions on Shamrock Road. Linford Pearson Highway, traffic flowing moderately as well. A little slow moving traffic on Crew Road heading to Georgetown, but nothing to worry about too much. Heading east on Crew Road, traffic is light to moderate. Light traffic coming from the West Bay four-way stop, and traffic flowing pretty good on Owen Roberts Drive. Owen Roberts Drive, yes. And also on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate in both directions. And coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, moderate flow of traffic continuing onto Huldah Avenue. Now, if you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Join us again at about 12:15. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with benefits bento and let's eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The following is a paid political announcement by the Caymanian Community Party.
The PPM had their turn. What did we get? Exploding population, soaring cost of living, secret deals, an unfair immigration system. You're scraping by while they help their friends cash in. You tighten your belt while they blow money on vanity projects. Enough is enough. The Caymanian Community Party is different. We will make sure Caymanians have an opportunity in our own country. No side deals, no shady alliances. On April 30th, vote TCCP for a stronger, fairer Cayman.
That was a paid political message by the Caymanian Community Party.
Are you a creator or inventor? Want to legally protect your work? Be known for it? How about make money from it? Wouldn't that be awesome? Cayman is celebrating intellectual property this month, leading up to World Intellectual Property Day on April 26th. But don't wait to join the celebration. Learn how to get your patent, trademark, design, or copyright registered today by visiting the Cayman Islands Intellectual Property Office website at ciipo.ky.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, I will remind you that we have in the studio the Deputy Premier and incumbent parliamentarian representing the constituency of Georgetown Central in our Parliament, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, in the studio. This is a paid slot on Radio Cayman. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to our WhatsApp number, 925-3261. So earlier this morning, Mr. Bryan, one of our listeners wrote and said the program last night, the roundtable discussion that we had was very informative. Mr. Bryan did a very good job on all of the topics. My only issue was the program should have been earlier in regards to the date and time. More people could be more informed on the referendum had it been done early. And of course, we remind them that they can watch it replay on YouTube as well.
Yes.
We have another a listener who said to the Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, whom I have respect for, and I am hoping that you will win in this election. I believe that it would have been best for you to run as an independent. The reason why is that it would not matter who the new government would have been. You would have had a greater chance on continuing to be Minister of Tourism. So,
I just want
comments on both.
Thanks to both of the authors of those comments. Yes, last night was an amazing discussion, and I would encourage those who still have thoughts on the referendum questions. We had a good discussion with people who opposed and for, and gave you a good insight of the pros and cons. So if you can go back to the YouTube channel, it was last night at 7 p.m. The discussion was about 2 hours, and you can break it up into parts because each segment was to do with the different topics of the referendum. So yes, thank you so much for that. As for the last question, I appreciate the person's contribution and thoughts. I could have run as an independent. Matter of fact, most people wanted me to. We built a very good movement in respect to the movement that we had, which is together we can make Cayman better, and it's still there today. Just because the color has changed and the group of persons I'm working with, I'm still going to be the committed Kenneth that I've always been. It doesn't matter what party or group I'm with. But the real decision, the reason why I joined the Progressives is on the basis that after recognizing after 8 years the very key component of togetherness and unity and maturity and discipline for government, not only about the wish list of things you want to address for the people, but if you're not disciplined and mature enough to stick together no matter what, and hold, even when things get rough, being able to hold it together and hold on to the steering wheel, because the people that you represent shouldn't have to be worried about instability within government. They need to go to bed at night sleeping thinking that your elected members are in there working on solving the problems. Even if it's bad inside, they should never know. And we were unable to do that because of what having a lot of independents come together at the last minute caused. And I learned that the hard way. And I wanted to be with a group of people who are not going to offer that again. That's one of the key things I heard back from the people when I spoke to them is we want stability. We don't want to go through this anxiety of whether the government's going to fall and all of that. And the good thing about the Progressives, though they have their own faults, but no administration is perfect. No different than what Obama did for the Democrats. It's totally different than what Bill Clinton did 20 years before. So even though there may be some disputes about what the old Progressives was, it's not the same Progressives today. And I'm honored to be the deputy leader of the party. So those people who believe in me can be comforted to know that I am the second in line to give the direction for where we're going. And that should give them a level of comfort of saying it's still the best choice. And I want to, when we win, to be able to collectively say, we're going to be on the same page and it's not going to be people going in different directions. So what you hear from us is what's going to happen, as opposed to when you have a number of people from different sides coming together. You don't know what's going to end up being the end result. And I think that's what the people deserve. I think like this last 4 years, we spent 70% of our time bickering and going back and forth and trying to convince one another to go one way or the other, rather than that time focused on actually solving the major issues that we're facing. You saw that I was a major proponent for immigration reform from a year and a half in, to the point where I was putting the sign up on the streets because I knew it was going to be a big issue. Now today, every candidate is talking about immigration reform when I was speaking about that from 2.5 years ago because I saw the ripple effects on our economy. My point is, the Progressives, which comes just like no any other group, the other party that's running, they'll have their failures and flaws. I think what we've done with the Progressives is take all the benefits and leave behind all what was perceived to be negatives before. So we're taking the discipline, the experience at the wheel, which is one thing none of the other two groups can say. They have proven that they are able to handle choppy waters and be a captain at the wheel and not give up and not quit. And I'm not trying to push a plug on them, but this is about progressives, the People's Progressive Movement. They've proven during COVID, they kept the country safe. And you can't take that away from them. During 2008 and 2009, when the downturn happened, even when some people were saying, sell off government assets, sell off water authority, they didn't do that. They took the licks and they got the country through. And sometimes we have forgotten that. So you want people who are not going to get rattled when things get hard. And as long as that benefit and that experience that comes with new policy ideas of today, I think that's a good combination of experience, good combination of people who are new, people who have been there, people who are disciplined, and that's what it's going to take going forward. Of course, I love every Caymanian that is running, all of them. We're all trying to do the noble thing, right? I personally believe this is the best way to go about it because I do not want to, as an independent, I cannot promise you that I can get something done anymore. I can't, not with an honest heart. It's by a stroke of luck whether I'm on the government side or not. I'm saying to you that the people that I'm with, if we are elected, I can commit to you that the things that we've said we're going to do, we can get them done. So that's what that's about. Okay. But I want to try to, I know that we might have to go to a break shortly, but I wanted to talk more about the things that I've done and what I'm going to do. But again, I want to repeat that tonight I'm having my last solo meeting on Shedden Road, right next to the Central Plaza, Park, right where the new Flowers parking lot is. And it's the last chance for me to speak one-on-one with my people. The other meetings that we're having is going to be with the whole party and all the members. But I want to talk to my people alone. This relationship is between me and them. The party will have the bigger one next week. So I want to encourage you to come out tonight. That's at 7 p.m. We got some special guest endorsers who are going to come. I know you don't want to miss that. Some good, key, strong Georgetown people that we all know. So please come on down. There's going to be some great food from Central. We are some of the best cooks in the whole of Georgetown, if not the greater Cayman Islands. So come and enjoy some food. I won't be long tonight. It's about 45 minutes worth of talk and then socializing together and do what we know as Caymanians and talk to each other sidebar about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, so I can get that feedback that I'm on the right track. All right, so some of my accomplishments before we go to that break, things that people may remember. Obviously, the biggest one ever, and I'm so proud of it, is the Central Scranton Park. 4 administrations had promised to deliver the Central Scranton Park and didn't. I promised the people when I got elected, and if I'm in the government side, that I will get that delivered. And now we're almost 60% there. People can see the structures going up. And I know it's a lot of buzz for some other people. They're talking about it. And some people are even saying, why am I spending so much money in Central? Why am I not? I wish I spent more. The good people of Georgetown Central deserve that, right? They're no different than South Sound or West Bay Road or anywhere else. So I take no shame at all in putting that infrastructure there. Matter of fact, that place is going to probably be the gem of Georgetown in the future, where our seniors can go and enjoy themselves in a safe environment with facilities made just for them, and a youth center where in a neighborhood where people think is bad or is the worst place in the world, our young people are going to be able to go there, study, get education, after school programs, and have a great, safe time. And it's going to be a green space that is protected from being sold and put a big old another building built on the land. So not only am I purchasing that land and creating it as a safe green space, it will always be ours forever and a day, and they'll never be able to take that away. No matter how much comments they talk about how much was spent and how much shouldn't have been there, they're my people and they deserve it just as much as anybody else. The other part that I did was the new routes for Cayman Airways. We now have accessibility to another jurisdiction in Panama, which offers cheaper pricing and another leisure area for people to go to for trade and just for leisure. And I think people are very happy about that. Another route to California, which allows for financial services and trade and film as an industry to come here and get to the West Coast, like San Diego and so forth. I'm happy to have delivered that because that strengthens our economy. The third thing was a $50,000 grant for tourism entrepreneurs to build more activities and attractions. Very proud of that. Over, how much was it? I can't remember. I think it was $250,000 or I think it was $250,000 worth of grants to Caymanians. But they don't talk about that. That's okay. The pilots, for the first time in Cayman's history, we have scholarships specific for pilots because pilots are a lot more expensive. We have a national airline. We have to have enough supply of Caymanian pilots. So we never have to be worried about another person other than the Caymanian flying us safely in and out of the Cayman Islands, particularly during hurricane season when we need to get off island. Also, the waiver program for hygiene products and school products and feminine products. For women, we waived that when we were in government. Also, the free lunches for kids. Parents don't have to be worried about your children being fed. They can be sure that when they go to school, they'll be fed. Also, the increase in seaman benefits to $1,500, which I think should have been done ages ago, but the members who left wouldn't support it. And thankfully, as soon as they were done and I was in charge of social development, I got the support from my colleagues to increase it for poor persons relief and seamen, because $1,000 wasn't cutting it, $1,200 wasn't cutting it in the cost of living here today. Some seniors are paying like $900 just for light and water. But how can you survive on food for $600? So I'm so happy that we were able to increase that. The other part was we've received the highest number of tourism taxes and revenues in Cayman's history for stay-over tourism. The per day, the cost for per room per night is the highest it's ever been in the Cayman Islands history. As a result, our taxes have been the highest. So though we're not back to the same number of tourists, we're getting more value per person. So I think we got to go to break. Nope, we're good? Okay.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish those.
Other part was the airport redevelopment plan, which is going to allow us to expand further on. Obviously, when the country is in a financial position to do so, because we are a growing tourism destination, and we want to make sure that we're all of our eggs are not in one basket. We depend heavily on the American market, but God forbid any geopolitics happen there. We want to be able to extend our runway, so in fact that we can go to the European markets. Hopefully, when that airport extension is done, eventually we can have flights directly to Europe, Germany, London, obviously. We don't have to stop over in Bahamas, which is going to give us, our economy, a stronger opportunity for growth and opportunities for Caymanians. Now, this is a list of so many, just a few that we have done, and we could have done a whole lot more. And I want to talk, when we come back from the break, about the things I plan to do moving forward with the People's Progressive Movement.
Okay, folks, the voice that you're hearing is the voice of Deputy Premier, also Deputy Leader of the People's Progressive Movement, Honorable Kenneth Bryan. He's seeking to retain his seat in the constituency of Georgetown Central in our upcoming April 30th general elections. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts Building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, the Deputy Premier, Deputy Leader of the People's Progressive Movement, incumbent candidate, Georgetown Central, Honorable Kenneth Bryan. One of our listeners has asked you to address the cost of the Scranton Park. There are those who are saying that it costs it is too expensive and it shouldn't be done, and that they're saying that a park can't cost millions. of dollars. So the detractors.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll see. I'm quite fine with dealing with those persons who like to detract from something positive rather than looking at the benefits. But here's my response to that. It's more than a park. It's not just a park. It's a community center. It's an educational center for kids. And if anybody deserves us to spend money on them, it's our seniors who built this country, particularly our hardworking Georgetown Central people. And I hold back in no capacity on how much I spend on that area. But more importantly, the land that was necessary to purchase to develop it. Georgetown Central has the most expensive land anywhere in the Cayman Islands, outside of West Bay Road itself. So naturally, it would have been a little bit more expensive than a regular park. But also, hurricane-rated centers that, God forbid, if anything happens in that area, my people can go to. And they deserve it. And I hold no bones about that. So you will have a multi-sport facility, basketball, netball, small football. You will have a senior center where you can do a lot of programs and birthdays, Christmas days. We do that a lot in Central. That's a normal thing from Mother's Day, Christmas, Easter, all
community activities.
Community activities. But more importantly, I want somewhere for our seniors to go and relax and keep active, whether it's yoga, whether it's planting. But also the park will be a location where we can start inviting all of these tourists that come off down in the Central and make them see our people, so our Central people can make some money off of them too. So my intention is, when the good people of Georgetown Central put me back in, and when the People's Progressive Movement gets the government, is that when that is completed, we're going to start bringing some of those guests to really feel what Georgetown Central and Cayman culture is about. Because I want them to taste Pauline cooking and Miss Lucille cooking, right? So it's going to be a further than just a park, where our culture can be on display. I'm so happy to say that we've purchased a sculpture from one of our own Georgetown artists, Mr. Al Ebanks.
Oh, okay.
I was going to hold that back as a surprise, but you know what? I want people to know that we're spending the money in the right places. The youth center, which is going to be specifically outlaid in a way that is going to be classrooms and a play area for children to go after school, and even during summertime for kids to catch up who are falling behind. We hear about kids that go off to high school because they're behind in primary.
And you would invite people to volunteer their time to come and assist if they care so much about the community.
Correct.
Come and
don't criticize
pay it forward.
Come and pay it forward, right? And not only that, but this park will increase the value of all of my residents and landowners in that area because of the money that we spent there. So again, I hold nothing back. And this park is not only about Central, it's about Georgetown. And most important about this all for me is that this property will be reserved and can't be sold for no further development, and that will always be there. So they can say what they want to say. I hold no bones about that. There's two things I didn't say that I did when I was in government, which is the renaming of the Georgetown Primary School to Miss Marie Martin Primary. I was so honored. That teared me up so much because she was my principal when I was there.
Okay.
She was my teacher as well. So I was really happy to rename it after her. And the other thing I didn't say is the purchase of a new plane, another twin auto for the routes back and forth to Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, because it's so essential that we have enough traffic for our tourism product to get to Little Cayman, which is our most green area that offers a different product than Cayman Brac and Grand Cayman. So those are just some notable things.
Now, some Brackers still complain about the SAB. Any plans if you're re-elected and still Minister for Tourism to upgrade the aircraft for the park?
The hope and goal is that, particularly with the airport redevelopment in Little Cayman, regardless of whether it's at the same site or a different site, is to eventually go to the ATRs, which is a little bit bigger. But you don't want, right now it costs the country so much money to have 3 different types of planes. So you have to have 3 different types of mechanics and setups and parts and all of these things. So the hope and goal is to stick to the jets that we have and ATRs. And those ATRs can do what the SAB is doing, but also they can fly into Little Cayman. Right now, the SABs can't fly into Little Cayman. So if we come down from 3 types of planes to 2 types of planes, we save money and we can get more people to Little Cayman more frequently, where we have that amazing product of diving and natural life that we have over there with the ecosystem products that we offer. All right, so if I can now, I want to talk about some of the things that we plan to do once we are elected as the People's Progressive Movement. And some areas that I think are important for the good people of Georgetown Central will be, 1, the minimum wage, which we intend to have implemented by November 1st to $9 an hour. And we want to create legislation that minimum wage is connected and tied to inflation. So we don't have to worry about whether an administration is actually doing it or increasing it when it needs to be increased. If you tie it to inflation, it'll be an automatic factor. Okay. So if it needs to increase to 10 or 11 or what have you, as time progresses, it can do so. So that's a big one. The other one is housing, as you heard me say before, for Georgetown Central. Let me go back. Go to healthcare first. A major cost for parents is having to pay for healthcare for their children. When we get in, we're going to make healthcare for kids free of cost from age 0 to 18, unless you're going on to continued education, and you'll still continue to have that. That way, families don't have to be worried about the children going to the dentist or children having any urgent matters. That security is important, and vice versa for seniors. One of the biggest costs and concerns is whether seniors will be able to get health care, particularly in their golden years. Well, for one, if you work for civil service, you get health care continued for free. If you don't have health care already, we're going to ensure through the Needs Assessment Unit, now known as the Department of Financial Assistance, where all seniors can get health care and paid for through CINP, and also work with the healthcare providers to reduce the cost of offering, particularly when it comes to medicines, because there is other types of what we call generic medicines that do exactly the same thing that can reduce the cost. So reforming the insurance, health insurance system, which is the main cost for healthcare, we have to address that. Our seniors should not be worried about if they get sick, that they have to go to the hospital. You know how many people are not going to the hospital worried because they're afraid of the cost? We have to stop that. The quality of life of our seniors are getting worse just based on stress alone. Housing. The government, with the population growth of over 15,000 people from 2019 to today, which is just over 6 years, we had an increase of 15,000 people. We have to manage our immigration population growth. And to be honest with you, I think there's about 2% of the people here that are on work permit that don't have anything to do. And if you have nothing to do, you need to go, in my humble opinion, because all you're doing is flooding and saturating the labor market and causing it more difficult for Caymanians to get employment. So we're going to create a task force made up of the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, Immigration, Border Control, and DCI to come down harder. Back in your days, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to go back to the days when you were in charge of immigration, where people took it serious that immigration is so important because immigration is the door to opportunities. If you have a saturated labor market, Caymanians are the ones who are disadvantaged by that. Now, don't get me wrong. We need outside labor. But if you don't manage the right amount, you can hurt the country terribly. Not only that, but unmanaged growth has now caused for the housing prices and rental market to increase. You can't increase 15,000 people in 6 years because you did not do enough houses within 6 years to accommodate those persons. Hence the reason the rental market is up. So management of the immigration system is going to be key in order to allow for good opportunities for Caymanians to have jobs. And it's also going to help reduce the traffic. It's also going to help reduce crime because, believe it or not, we're seeing more and more people now going to court that is on work permit creating crime. That needs to stop. We're going to put in the fingerprinting and hopefully I can't remember what the iris scanners for people who are coming to Cayman, particularly with what Trump has done, because I'm worried that Trump has gotten rid of them and sent them back to different areas of the Caribbean. And you know, Cayman, we are so easy to
magnet. We're the magnet.
We're the magnet. So those key infrastructure for fingerprinting and iris scanners, we're going to get those implemented to make sure that we assess who's coming here. We want to welcome people. We're a very welcoming society, but we want to make sure that those persons who are coming are not persons who are going to be disadvantageous to Cayman in our economy and our society, and not make sure that they're also not taking our jobs.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of this segment with the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, current Deputy Premier, also Deputy Leader of the People's Progressive Movement, incumbent candidate for the constituency of Georgetown Central as well. Mr. Bryan, back over to you.
Thank you so much, OC. Before we went to the break, we were just talking about some of the things that are important that we're going to be doing for the Cayman Islands, and particularly, specifically for Georgetown Central. I think the people of Central are concerned about.
Yeah.
So housing was one of them, and the major concern is that Georgetowners are feeling they're forced out of Georgetown because there's no housing options in Georgetown. And I'm happy to say that Georgetowners, you can feel comfortable that you're going to get housing, and those we call the low-income housing is going to be developed in Georgetown. I'm happy to note that the People's Progressive Movement, before this administration, acquired 25 acres of land on the Linford-Pearson Highway, which is just not too far away from any Georgetown community, that at the very least you don't have to go to Northside, East End, or West Bay and come out of town as a towner. And we're going to go and take those 25 acres of land, and we're going to develop at least 100 homes are going to be developed in town. And that is my commitment to you. It's one of my top priorities. And there has to be an emphasis that Georgetowners get those houses more than anybody else, because it's a displacement of our community and our character, because Georgetowners are different from West Bayers. And not that they're any better or any less. We're all Caymanians. But I know West Bayers don't want to leave West Bay, and neither do Georgetowners want to leave Georgetown.
They're attached to
your community. So I'm going to fight and ensure that those houses are for Georgetowners. So that's my commitment to Georgetown Central. Your children deserve a right to have a home, and they deserve to have a right to a home in Georgetown. And obviously the employment component. But before I go into employment, let's go back to the housing overall, because it's not only about government low-income housing that to be built. We're also going to start back the rent-to-own solutions, because not everybody can go to the bank and get a loan Some people don't have enough for a deposit. Some people won't even qualify with the bank. Government has to offer options where people can eventually get to a place of buying, even if it's by increments over years, but rent to own so you can eventually have it as your own. The government used to do it before and they moved away from that model. We're going to move back to that model. Gives more options for Caymanians to get into their own property. The other issue is we got to recognize that the government cannot build enough homes for the demand that is there. Rather than giving concessions to big developers, we're going to go to those smaller developers, like, say, for instance, the Frank Hall Homes, and say, listen, Mr. Hall and your company, if you can deliver houses at this price for Caymanians only, we will give you a duty concession on all the materials that you use to build those houses. And you can bring down the prices of the homes for Caymanians to have access to it. So we got to work with the private sector to build more houses while at the same time reducing the amount of people who are in this country so the supply and demand principle balances out. What we have right now is very little housing, loads of people. What we're going to do is bring down the amount of people and increase the housing, and that will balance back the housing cost.
And that will, it would appear to me, require a closer working relationship with these developers, because we have seen what was once thought to be affordable housing because of increases, whether real or otherwise, that the price of those houses have jumped to the point where they're no longer reachable or attainable, for certain people. So
no longer
if you're gonna grant concessions to them, then it's going to mean closely monitoring and working with them to ensure that they are abiding to the terms and conditions under which, or maybe even, having some oversight board established to
monitor that.
Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yes. And the number one goal is to make housing affordable again. And the way you do that is you have to address the demand on the housing system in some way, shape, or form. And the demand on the system right now is obviously the population increase, but also the point system. Once we have a point system that increases and encourages purchase of homes, we have to take away points for purchasing of homes because you're creating too much a heavy demand on it. We also have to look at this outside investment requirements and restrictions where a person from overseas can simply just come in and just buy up a bunch of property or buy up a bunch of homes with no requirements. It's just you're putting too much pressure on the system and we're not building them fast enough.
Yeah, I think that person wants to know how do you...
That's a very good question about the hotels.
I mentioned it.
Interestingly enough, a hotel developer came to the government just recently, about 3.5 months ago, and said, we want to propose building this hotel and we would like government to consider concessions. And I said straight up, and I have no bones in saying this, and I know the Honorable Premier would not be mad at me for saying it. I said, Premier, there's no chance in hell I'll be considering concessions. None. And main reason is, any more hotels that are coming, they're just going to create to the problem that we have. We need to catch back up with our infrastructure and our housing because the people who have to work there, where are they going to live? They're just going to add to the problem. We have enough now. What we need to do is catch up to where our growth has come because we haven't put the right amount of infrastructure in place. The more people are here, that means more pressure on our schools. We have to make sure that all the necessary essential infrastructure, whether it's roads, schools, hospitals, living residents, are capable to deal with the businesses and the growth of it. Great. I love the fact that people want to build hotels. But if you have nowhere for your people that are going to work there, going to stay, what's the point of building it? You're just going to create more problems and more cost to government while those prices go up. And then NEU has to say, okay, I have to give somebody $2,000 to pay for rent, as opposed to what it used to be was $1,200. So
I think the other question was, the part of the question was to do with the staffing of them as well.
Well, I think there should be an obligation on hotel developers to build your own residence. Matter of fact, I'm happy to say that one of those developers right now are building their own residence so that the staff can have, so they don't add to the problem.
But what about filling the positions within the hotels? My question was, I think we have one that is due to come online pretty soon. I don't know whether or not they have already submitted their business staffing plans, whether or not they have come to the government and say, well, here's the number of persons that we're going to need to bring in for these positions, whether or not they have had job fairs already to see what talent is available, on island.
Based on the opening times for those new developments that I think the 2 hotels you're talking about, there's still a substantial amount of time for that.
Okay.
So it's all the way in next year. And I see that when they're getting closer to the opening mark, at least about 8 months out, they'll start to do recruitment drives and so forth.
But then they'll put pressure on you then to say, we can't get anyone, so we need to bring the work permits.
I'm the right
person
person
to start
to put pressure on. I wish I was the Minister of Immigration. Matter of fact, the Honorable Wayne Panton, when I begged him after he left, let Chris Saunders go, I asked him to give me immigration. And he said I'd be too radical. That's why I didn't get it. And that's why I put the sign up to say immigration reform now, because exactly what we're talking about and those concerns, they have to go out and find our Caymanians who are unemployed and train them. And then use them and be forced to use them. If we leave the door open too easily to find somebody else, they'll use excuses. But bearing in mind, we have to balance that with some people who are not prepared and qualified.
Okay, we have less than 4 minutes left.
All right. So there's so many other things that I wanted to talk about today, but this is only a paid program for 1 hour. But I want to remind the public.
I think you're going to be on next week as well, right?
Yes, on Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can hear more. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. I'll be back here on Monday, so don't be, if you want to tune in again to hear the things I'm going to deliver, make sure you tune in on Monday. But I want to remind the public again, my last solo meeting by myself as a candidate for Georgetown Central will be tonight. It's going to be on Shedden Road, right across from Archie's Bar, where the open parking lot there, the flowers that is just built, right next to the Central Plaza, as most people know it. For those who are Georgetowners, where Patterson Old Shop used to be, right across the street from Miss Elsie Borden's home. So you'll see the sign up there tonight. Tonight is not
adjacent to Parliament.
Adjacent to Parliament Plaza. Is it Parliament Plaza? Yeah, where Parliament Carpets used to be.
Yeah.
The plan tonight is not a heavy political meeting. I have some people, some special guests who are going to come and endorse me. So come out just to find out who those persons are going to be. You're going to be quite surprised. And they're going to do some endorsements of why they think that I should be reelected. And then I'm going to deliver about a 30-minute speech. And it's not about politicking. This is about the relationship between me and the good people of Georgetown Central. Because I think, to be honest with you, the atmosphere is people are tired of the politics. Right? I want to build a bond with my people and remind them that I am committed. I give everything that I am. Besides my wife and kids and my mother, they are the top priority in my life. Nobody else other than Georgetown Central, right? And the Cayman Islands as a whole. And I'm going to continue to give them all of who I am. And I love doing it. It's the most honorable thing I've ever done in my life. Okay. So I want you to come tonight.
Still got 2 minutes left.
I want you to come tonight. Come at 7 p.m. We're going to have some good Georgetown Central food. I know Easter, everybody. I kind of worn out. So come down tonight and sit down and relax. We're going to have some good old Cayman music. Now this raga they talk about. We're going to have some good old, maybe a little bit of calypso, old school country, like that kind of stuff. And this is mainly, I want to focus heavily, particularly on our generational seniors from town. I want you to remember what Georgetown was about. And I want you to remember that I'm committed to protecting who you are and what you stand for. Come and enjoy me tonight. Eat some good Cayman food. I have a couple of domino tables set up. We can play some dominoes together. And if you just want to talk to me and reason with me, that's what it's about. So quick speech, delivery, and then we talk and socialize together. That's tonight at 7 p.m. Please come on down. And this
will copies of manifesto be available there as well?
Correct. So because of less politics, if you want to know exactly what we're going to be doing, the manifesto copy documents will be there for you to collect and pick up. And this invite is not only to Georgetown Central, it's to anybody in the Cayman Islands. You're welcome to come, because I don't only represent Georgetown Central, I represent the whole of the Cayman Islands, including Cayman Brac and including Little Cayman. So come on down tonight. We're going to have loads of food. Without food and entertainment, it's not going to be a real social. Sorry.
Okay, let me read one quick comment that we received as well. It says, good morning. I'm very proud of Mr. Kenneth Bryan on his accomplishments for the Cayman Islands, people of the Cayman Islands. I'm also glad to hear of the plans for fingerprints, and I have not heard any other politicians speak about it in their meetings. We do need that here. We have persons here that are threatening people's lives, that they're going to kill them. that includes myself. So talking about security issues in relation
tell that
to
person
that.
They can call me. I want to know that they're comfortable and safe. I want to leave one message for you. I just got a message that says, don't forget to invite OC out tonight for 6 Love, like the old times.
They mean for me to drop it on them, right?
yeah. So please come on down tonight, 7 p.m. It'll be short and sweet, speaking opportunity. Then we can just enjoy ourselves and remember what Georgetown is all about. So again, 7 p.m. tonight, please come out to my meet and greet social as we enjoy some good food and some good time together as fellowship.
Folks, that's the voice of the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Deputy Premier and Deputy Leader of the People's Progressive Movement. We're going to go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, we will have in the studio with us Miss Julia Hunter, Mr. Jordan Rivers, and Miss Jeeva Richards from the Cayman Islands National Party. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The preceding was a paid political broadcast.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The Customs Border and Control Basic Officer Training graduation ceremony for the class of 2025 was held at the Hartwell Theater on Thursday, with 16 Caymanians crossing the stage. The speakers shared their congratulations to the new officers and reminded them of their new responsibilities in securing Cayman's borders. A senior Russian general has been killed in a car bomb attack in Moscow. The general is the latest Russian military commander or pro-Kremlin figure believed to have been targeted by Ukrainians inside Russia. This comes as Donald Trump's special envoy is meeting with President Putin for Ukraine peace talks. Details of U.S. and European peace proposals have emerged via the Reuters news agency. They differ on key areas such as security guarantees. And a Dutch hall has admitted that it most likely accidentally disposed of 46 artworks, including an Andy Warhol print of the former Dutch queen during renovations last year. The municipality said the works, including a 1980 silkscreen print of Queen Beatrix worth about €15,000, disappeared during work on a town hall last year. An investigation said the artworks were stored in a basement during renovations, and a lack of guidelines for storing the artwork could have been among the reasons they ended up being thrown away. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise Him, praise Him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise Him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise Him, praise Him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in. Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in.
Praise time. Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Radio Cayman maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman maintaining the innovation.
The following is a paid political broadcast. The views, information, or opinions expressed in this forum are solely those of the participants of this event and do not represent the views of the management and staff of Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I have kept 2/3 of my promise this morning in terms of the candidates in the studio. One candidate is still on their way and they will be joining us shortly. Meanwhile, from the Cayman Islands National Party, my pleasure to have in the studio again today Miss Julie Hunter and Miss Jeeva Richards. Ladies, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning. Morning, and good to have us in, or good to be here, sorry, and good to welcome our beautiful people from the Cayman Islands.
Okay. How have both of you been holding up during this time? You know, people complain about, there's such a short period of time, for campaigning and everything after the House is dissolved. But if it were to be any longer.
Oh, see, I couldn't have made it if it was any longer. And the reality is, we, being newcomers to the field, we have been campaigning since, I don't know about Jeeva, but since December 9th, as I landed back on this island because I was on vacation prior to that, I have been campaigning straight from December 9th, knocking on doors. When I looked at my voters list and realized that many of those people, majority of those people I did not know, despite being raised in Northwest Point and in the surrounding areas where I'm running, and I realized that a lot of them, are people that I didn't grow up with and had to know people, and I wanted to know all of my constituents. So I set out on the trail to knock on as many doors, and up until this week, almost every day, knocking constantly.
I'll echo Miss Julie's. It has been intense is a word that I would use, but certainly so rewarding, right? I feel that I started out a bit later than her as well. So she started December 9th and I started January 21st. So more than a month and a half later. But like her, that was the objective, to meet and interact with as many people as possible. Certainly, I have not been able to knock on every door in the constituency, but my objective is to do that, right? Whether it's during this process, and I'm going to be doing that right up until the night before election, because I want people to know that, for me, it is the people that matter, and they're the reason that we're doing this. And, the party wants to ensure that you meet your candidate. So whether that occurs prior to the election, which is ideal, or afterwards, we're going to continue that whole process on there. So exhaustion is one way to put it. Because one of the things that we've also been doing as candidates for the CINP is, in addition to campaigning on the ground and knocking on doors, we have been busy. And I've said this again, I think I've mentioned this to you before, but one of our objectives was to ensure that our candidates were as prepared as we could be to understand the issues, to be able to delve into them, to tackle them, and to go into Parliament aware and ready to hit the ground running. So that came with a lot of intense sessions and review of policy, review of laws, meeting with industry experts, meeting with groups and otherwise to gain experience and gain that knowledge that we would need to be better positioned to be ready once we're elected.
Okay. And now on a constituency level, personal level for each of you, what stages are you at now? What meetings do you still have scheduled? And the final for your constituency. We know that some things are taking place in the BRAC as well, and we'll talk about those. But let's talk a little bit about your individual constituencies.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I have today, all of today after I finished the interview, today, Monday and Tuesday, basically to continue knocking on doors. I still have several doors that I would like to knock on. I've had to communicate with some of my people through WhatsApp and through telephone because, through the day, a lot of people are at work and there's only so many evening hours. But apart from that, I do have my final rally on Tuesday at 6:37. That's going to be a night of culture, night of just really just knocking it home, and a night where we just engage with our constituents and say, this is who we are, a final push to the election. So that's going to be a great evening on Tuesday. But apart from that, then we do have the Cayman BRAC, which you said we'd talk about a little bit later. But my main thing between now and then is just to be knocking on my doors, those that I haven't finished, and just that final push.
Ms. Jeeva?
On my end, I have a meeting tonight at 7:30 p.m. at Paccasac, and people always ask where that is. Just in front of Pirates Cove Bar, just on the opposite side of the road. It's going to be, again, not heavily intense meeting tonight. It's going to be myself talking on topics, a few one or two endorsers, but certainly a guest speaker tonight, and I'm inviting everybody to come out. Somebody you're very familiar with, and to just hear. And then my final meeting then would be on the 29th. Similar to Miss Julie, the night before election, will be just down the street from that at Sam Rankin's Beach on Seaview Road, which is literally like 2 lots down from the Pirates Cove Bar. 7:30 p.m. Once again for the final meeting and rally, and that last emphasis of who we are as individuals, who I am as a party, as a candidate for the district.
Okay, Mr. Rivers, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Thank you for having me. I've seen you more than I've seen in my entire life, Jose. It's always good to see you.
Great here as well. Tell us what's happening in your constituency, what you've been doing.
Oh, I've been busy hitting the ground running. Honestly, every day has been a very new day, but I've enjoyed it so far. So I think the most important thing is coming up is going to obviously be, we're going to be in the BRAC this weekend. That should be a lot of fun. I love going to the BRAC, honestly. I'm just upset that I can only be there for 24 hours. But it's life. Life isn't fair like that, So on the 28th here now will be the party's finale rally. It always runs so nicely together, finale rally. And then on the 29th, I'll be having mine on Andresen Road next to Cobalt Coast. And I'll tell you, for all the West Bay North voters, you're not going to want to miss this. We're going to be dropping some truth bombs. This election is not going to go out without a bang this year, let me tell you, because the CINP is here, and we are standing for truth, honesty, integrity, and transparency. And it would be remiss of me if I didn't close my campaign how I started that, on those fundamental principles. So I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a very jam-packed election this year.
Okay. So we want to talk now about the manifesto, but what we'll do is we'll take the commercial break now so that we don't have to take a break in between and talk about recently released manifesto as well, talk about some of the things in that, talk about those things that are specific to your constituents as well as the national issues also. Folks, please stay tuned. The conversation with Mr. Jordan Rivers, Ms. Julia Hunter, and Ms. Jeeva Richards will continue. They are members of the Cayman Islands National Party seeking to be elected in the upcoming April 30th general election. So please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
I hope you're ready for change, cause I know I am.
Cayman ranking. Ah, yeah. Foot. Born and raised, Cayman strong. Northward roots where I belong. Cayman ranking is the way to vote. Ranking. Cayman ranking. Change we need. Ranking. Cayman ranking. We need. Ranking is the medicine that Cayman needs right now. That Cayman needs right now.
The future of Bontown West is in your hands. The time for change is now.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement from candidate Heyman Rankin.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, three members of the Cayman Islands National Party, Ms. Jeeva Richards, Ms. Julia Hunter, and Mr. Jordan Rivers. We're going to talk about their manifesto and you decide how you're going to start out with that.
Well, thanks again, OC. So as it relates to our manifesto, we were very happy to have it, be able to provide that to the people of the Cayman Islands, and it was long awaited. And for us, we felt that it covered a host of the identified issues and comprehensively as well. What we've done with our manifesto as a party is that we think nationally, act locally. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that for each of us, our candidates, we did polls, we walked around, we did surveys, we gathered information from our communities, and those fed into some of the topics that came on the manifesto. So we would have covered a range of areas, including local issues on that manifesto as it was put together. All right. So there's it's very comprehensive. And again, we invite everybody to have a look at it. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to any of us. And we'll go through a couple of the areas for that as well.
Thank you, Jeeva. Yeah, like Jeeva said, we all had a major input into our manifesto. That's one of the things that really, really I appreciated about the party. It wasn't just like, a couple of people getting together and decided. No, we all had input, and that's what we used our surveys for, is to really zero in on the main issues that all of our constituents were addressing or had issues with, and we all found that they were all the same issues. We all live in the Cayman. They were basically the same issues as we walked through. We found people living on the beach and bathing in the bathrooms on the beach. I found somebody living under a tree, we all had the same issue. So, it was easy to come together and plan. And then, like Jeeva said, we spent a lot of time, with subject matter experts, putting solutions in place so that on day one we have something to work with and we have plans, that we are going to put forward. And I really, really appreciated that. It's not like, we just in a vacuum, just campaigning out there, but we did spend a lot of time getting plans in place and being prepared for this process. One of the things that really, really I am most interested in, OC, is employment opportunities, and that's covered very thoroughly in our manifesto. Okay. Employment opportunities for Caymanians. That's one of the main things. As I listened to that story, or not listen, but I read that story of Tamisha Haylock, and I'll bring that up because that really touched my heart, that a Caymanian who had gone away to study came back here with honors as a chef, and she, 300 applications later, was offered a position in housekeeping. I cannot get over that. With the many big hotels and establishments and restaurants that we have in Cayman, that a Caymanian, and so few of our Caymanians have those accolades. We don't have very many Caymanian qualified chefs. So for that to happen, I think it was just a travesty of justice on our part. So we covered a lot to do with employment, and that's one of the things that we have to be sure to get immigration back on track. Because if we're going to keep employing outside workers, then we'll never get our Caymanians to the stage where they can earn a living and live in their own country. They'll always be migrating. A lot of our Caymanians have migrated in the last 3 years. Why? Because they couldn't make it here. The cost of living. I had someone on my platform in my Bolton's rally the other night. That's why she left Cayman last year with her daughter, because the opportunities here. She could not live on her pension, and she has, different issues that she needed to deal with. So we have to get our Caymanians back to work. So one of the things that we have to do initially is to develop that national workforce development plan. We have to have a plan. Without that, we are going to continue to fail. So our plan is going to come on board almost immediately. We have a lot of plans already for that we'll just put in place. And then we need to, of course, as we've been saying, amend the immigration legislation. Without that, those amendments to immigration, then we will continue to fail. We have to take that portion out that deals with permanent residence and owning property and all that, so that our island is flooded with people that sending up all the cost of everything, the cost of housing, taking away the jobs that Caymanians can fill. I had 2 horror stories this week, but probably don't have time to go into that. 2 horror stories with 2 young people as I canvassed on Wednesday. When I heard those stories, what they're going through in their job places in the tourism industry, it was just, they were crying. What they, as young Caymanians, one is 19 and one is 21. Wow. And what they're going through and what they're being subject to and what's happening. A lot of our Caymanians are just being put in a position where they're just constantly targeted, misused, spoken down to. Every word that I can think of that is rude and bad has been happening, just so that they can say, you see, I told you so. Caymanians don't want to work. Yeah. And that's the object of a lot of our businesses, just so they can sit out and bring in the cheap labor. Hoping that they'll justify it. So they can justify it. See, Caymanians didn't want to work. See, we hired her. Look how long she lasted. That's simply not good enough. And if it means me going to these establishments because I know who they are, and standing up for our Caymanians, as I know also who those are that is happening to, then I'm prepared to do that. Because we have to get to a place where Caymanians, the voice of a Caymanian means something. And as a Caymanian, you have to have priority in your own island. If you're doing your job, I'm not saying those that don't want to work, those that come in late. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about people that are qualified, people that want to work, people that show up every day, people that do their job. They should not be targeted just because we want to bring in workers that they can offer cheaper salaries to. No, that's not going to continue to happen. Caymanians can't go anywhere else and have rights. This is the only place on earth that they can have rights, right? So we need to be better at that.
What I'll say, Miss Julia, I resonate very heavily with those sentiments because from the time I was 18, the exact same things that you said that you witnessed happened to me in the private sector. And that's actually what originally gave me my backbone to get more involved in many other things, right? And it's because I knew that I was one of those Caymanians that were coming into the workforce that didn't believe the stigma of, oh yes, there's a glass ceiling for Caymanians, you can go to the top if you want. And as I worked, in less than 6 months, you started to see how people truly operated because you were from here. And it made me feel some type of way. It's like, how is it that I live in this country and I'm treated like I'm lesser than the individuals? The key thing, I think, to add to your point, is that what the Caymanians are used for were token Caymanians, is so they can justify bringing in 3 to 5 more expats just because we can say on a documentation to immigration or CBC or whoever, we have X amount of Caymanians here. We're worth more than just a name on a paper. And they need to understand that. So I resonate a lot with a lot of those younger Caymanians that are having a hard time in employment and do not like their workforce because, let's just call it for what it is, it's a very toxic work environment. And most of them are hard workers. But it destroys you internally when you go there every single day, work your butt off, and you still get treated like you are worth less. And that's an issue for me. That's why I think that things like enforcement and accountability are so important for this. We have to ensure that our Caymanians, especially the young ones that have put the time in, have the ambition, have the drive, have the desire, we have to ensure that they have a place in this country, right? That's why it's so important that we do that. We also have to ensure the government as well now adheres to the same hiring practices that we demand that the private sector does. Because if we're going to have our elected representatives saying, do as I say, not as I do, that creates a problem, especially if whatever government of the day is showing you blatantly that they don't care about how the workforce looks. Do you think the person that's coming in here with millions of dollars to invest is going to say, well, if the government doesn't care, why should I care? And it's blatant. It's been happening over 25 years at minimum. So I think that's so important. But I'm going to segue off of that.
Well, and before you do, I think we need to emphasize that we recognize that it is not all employers in the Cayman Islands, right? And
not painting everyone with a broad brush.
We aren't.
No, we aren't.
We recognize, and we actually want to call those persons out and give them the recognition they deserve for those ones that ensure that they are hiring Caymanians, they are training, they're giving them the opportunities. But what we're saying is that there are too many Caymanians that are not getting those same opportunities. We're not looking for privilege to a certain extent. We're looking for equal opportunity, and that's what we want to ensure that we're giving to our Caymanians, especially our young Caymanians. But also, we need to not exclude, as a part of one of the issues in our manifesto as identified, is, that age discrimination. It has to stop. When someone's 65 years old, this society says, oh, well, you can't work anymore, And the reality is we've got people that are more than capable of working and contributing from experience. Some are, look at yourself. You ride 100 miles a week.
I know.
I mean, I can't
in the morning.
Right. But my point is that somebody being, stigmatized because of age is something that we absolutely disagree with. Because regardless of anything, all of us, even Jordan, who's only 28, will get to 65 at one day. And, we want to ensure that he isn't pushed out of the work environment as well.
I think a good way to sum that up is to live is to seek purpose. And when you take that purpose away from someone, they stop living. We've seen that with many successful people. The minute they take it slow, their life just declines within a year. So we cannot have ageism no longer in this country here.
100%.
But Jordan, to your point, the enforcement arm of immigration, that's one of the main things that we really need to work on, and we will work on, because we've all identified that that's not happening now. I remember the days of OC in France and Mr. Cresswell, God bless his soul.
I mean, golden age immigration.
Yes, the golden age of immigration.
Where they hunted them down.
Yes, where they hunted them down, and where things were enforced, policies were enforced, and when you had a fear that if you didn't do what you were supposed to do, you would be caught.
There was
and
consequences.
Yeah, there were consequences. But now, it seems like everybody can get away with anything, and that's the problem. So
you're saying it's a wild, wild west? And
it's a wild, wild west out there in immigration, and we all know it. Just call it what it is. And if we don't get that immigration enforcement arm up and running, beefed up, then it will always be like this. There is a employer, I will not call their name, I will not do that, but there is an employer that I know right now that said to their employees very recently, yes, we will hire her, but I guarantee you that we will only hire her for 6 months, and we will have an excuse, we will find an excuse to get rid of her so that we can get those permits that we have applied for.
Wow.
Verbatim.
That needs to be a name and shame, but not today.
Verbatim. You know, I am just passionate about what is happening to our Caymanians, and that is one of the main reasons that I ran for election, because I feel that our young people do not have a voice, and when our party is elected, I can assure the listening public this morning that the CINP is going to address these issues head on. We're not going to be that party that's afraid to make the big decisions that need to be made, because I'm sorry, but the other parties and the other legislators that I have seen in the last 8 to 12 years have not made those tough decisions where our Caymanians are put first. And we're going to get back to that.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, folks. When we return, the conversation with Miss Julie Hunter, Miss Jeeva Richards, and Mr. Jordan Rivers will continue. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Leon Gold, you can be the one for the people. Leon Gold, vote number 2. Leon is the one for you. Leon is the one for you. I said Leon is the one for you. So vote number 2. Graham said, I've heard up there the streets are made of gold. Leon Gold. And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. Cayman, I believe when your days down here all through, yeah, there's a place up there for people like you. Do the right thing. I know you're out there to keep doing what you do. Yeah, man, there's a place up there for people like you.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
Cayman's cruise industry is already strong. With over 1 million passengers a year, we are ranked 6th in the region. But as cruise lines push passengers to spend on board, local businesses earn less from every visitor. A cruise pier doesn't fix that. It just gives cruise corporations more control while Cayman carries the cost. We have to ask ourselves, what else do the cruise lines and developers want from us? Instead of spending hundreds of millions, let's invest in solutions that benefit our people first. Vote no on April 30th.
Cayman's tourism should work for Caymanians, not cruise corporations. Save our Cayman. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, I want to remind you that we have 3 members from the Cayman Islands National Party in the studio with us, Ms. Jeeva Hunter, Mr. Jordan Rose, and Ms. Jeeva Richards. We're talking about their manifesto, talking about events that are taking place as well. Before we went to the break, they were talking about immigration issues. Anything else that you want to add to that before we move on?
Yeah, I think, I'll touch on at least one more issue that we know we have as a part of the employment, our unemployment concern, is that, not just the hiring of Caymanians, but retaining that and growing the talent and ensuring that they have they're able to progress. And we know that there are requirements, and whether it's a business staffing plan or even Regulation 6 on work permits, it says that a Caymanian needs to be identified and trained. We know, again, this is not being done. And by this not being done, it is disenfranchising our Caymanians. So this comes right back down to what we started to talk about when Jordan started talking about enforcement. Enforcement. Ensuring that, there are penalties, that somebody is watching and somebody is tracking, and when there are reports, we're following up on it. And, I have to say that, this is no shade to anybody in any of these departments, because we understand that they work hard, but resources are key. And one of the things that we want to ensure that we're improving is our technology platforms, those ones that can identify and track and communicate and across different
industries,
industries, but also across different departments and divisions within government. Because one department should be talking to the other, or there should be alerts that pop up, and it shouldn't just be dependent.
No more silos.
Correct, and it shouldn't be dependent on somebody reporting it. We should be aware of this permit has been expired, or it's about to, and while we know that, it's giving the resources to ensure that enforcement across the board is being done and following up.
We should be using technology to create a national system so we can have a streamlined communication all across. I don't see how in 2025, in the age of AI technology, of all things, that is automated as much as possible, that we are still using Windows 97 style stuff. We got to get with the times. And the thing is that, yeah, I know it's always harder. It may seem sometimes expensive to update your tech and whatever not, but this is where the young people come in. This is where the new techies come in. This is how we advance ourselves as a nation and a people. Trust me, I know as I get older here now, I get a little bit stuck in my ways too. But if we use technology correctly, it makes our lives so much easier. We got to find that balance. It's not meant to replace us. It's meant to aid us. And if that means making the civil services job easier so that way we can be more efficient, get our time back, because in these days of the type of cost of living that we're dealing with, time is just as important as money. And
time is money.
Yeah, time is money.
Time is money.
Right, so we got to secure it.
And to be perfectly honest, when you talk about Reg 6, nobody comes in here on a work permit or a contract really is interested in training a Caymanian. So that's why a lot of these regulations are not working. You're not going to really be interested in training a Cayman knowing that they're going to take your job. So to think that we're going to leave that up to them and that it's going to happen, that's why it's not happening. And in a lot of instances, just before it's time for that person to leave and the Cayman that they have been training takes that job. A lot of times the Caymanian is fired for some unearthed reason. I mean, and it's just conveniently done. So they come up with, well, see, we don't have anybody else, and we have to keep this, or we go to the key employer, we pull that card, or, we just find a lot of different ways around it. One of the things, too, that I think that we also had in our manifesto that I really, really think that we need to put in place is employers must pay an annual opportunity fee per foreign worker in addition to the customary work permit fee to discourage excessive hiring of low-cost foreign labour. Higher opportunity fees on low-skilled foreign workers and skilled foreign professionals in jobs and sectors in which citizens aspire to work that have a high percentage of high foreign workers. So those 2 points, I think, would make a big difference, along with, like Jeeva and Jordan was saying, the tracking of those permits that are coming, those permits or those contracts that are coming up, that we need to ask them, you've had time in Cayman, you've given you an opportunity, now we need you to exit so that our Caymanians can take that job. Those need to be tracked and enforced, and when it's time for them to go, be graceful to say, Jeeva Richards was here, she's trained for 5 years, she needs to take this job, you need to go.
Okay. Yeah. Now, we know that mobile voting is taking place.
Yes.
We know that postal voting, the applications for postal voting that time has passed, so everything has been sent out, waiting to return. Based on what we're hearing, it seems as if the voter turnout is going to be relatively high.
Yes.
I hope so.
In this election, it would appear, even though we haven't received any figures from the supervisor of elections, and in speaking to him a few days ago, he's indicated they're collating some of that information so that it can compare, 1 year to the other in terms of the number of postal ballots issued, the number of persons who applied for mobile voting, and compare to the last election what's been happening as well. But it appears as if the referendum questions, in particular, the one in relation to cruise berthing, is attracting a lot of attention, and a lot of people are going to come out to vote. Do you have anything that you want to say to those voters in relation to voting for candidates and voting in the referendum as well?
Yeah, I'll tackle that real quick. I'm very happy to hear that it's looking like it's going to be a record turnout for votership. That shows you the mindset of the country right now. They're fed up with what they've gotten,
Exactly.
and they want something new. And we're here, and the Cayman Islands National Party, shameless plug, is here to bring that new. When it comes to the referendum questions, right? Obviously, we know that the hottest item on that is the cruise berthing facility.
I think the cannabis is a close second, though.
Oh no, it is for the young people, because
second. I've heard a lot about that cannabis.
Yeah.
Some of them talk to me a lot more about the cannabis than the.
But that's what their priority is, and trust me, nothing's wrong with it. Like I think the best way to address that one in particular is, and I'll tell you how I came to the perspective of that. As everyone will know, I'm not a doctor, so the medical science behind that is to the right of me. But for me, it's so important because I've had so many friends, so many persons that I've known that have gone to jail and had their life ruined for less than a $5 draw of marijuana. And that's a problem in this country, when we are ruining persons' lives over something that if you flick a seed anywhere in the world, it will grow, right? Irrespective of your personal desire for it, your medical need for it. We have to stop ruining people's lives off of something like this. I think with the cruise berthing in particular, the Cayman Islands National Party will dispense, once elected, will dispense whatever the will of the people is. And that's the most important thing. It is not about what our personal beliefs are, because as far from us as in West Bay to East End, that is two very different outlooks on that kind of stuff, because we come from different industries, we service different areas. So our personal beliefs on this, irrelevant. We are here to be arbiters of the will of the people. That's the most important thing. What I will say to add to that is make an informed decision. Listen to both sides.
Yes.
The thing is, you have a natural, as we as people have a natural ability to listen. And when we listen intently, we can see when things don't start to make sense on either side. Listen to that and trust your gut. And come April 30th, which is a very short time away, it's in 5 days, you go to those polls and you make an informed decision on the topic and your conscience.
Okay, we're going to take our final break, and when we return, we'll hear from Ms. Jeeva as well as Ms. Julie, if they want to, opine on the referendum and the voting itself, and encouragement to all of the voters out there who have not already voted. We saw earlier I announced one of the bulletins that was put out by the elections office in relation to change of static voting stations in Cayman Brac, where they have changed to as well. So, but people they're out there, and they're engaged as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts Building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Hello, Cayman Islands, and especially the constituents of West Bay Central. My name is Jewel Hides, and I am candidate number 2 on the ballot. I take this opportunity to invite you to my final meeting on the 29th of April at 7:30 p.m. We will be at the Lamar Plaza in Parsons AC parking lot. Come out and hear the plans I have for West Bay Central and the wider Cayman Islands. It's going to be a promising and exciting evening. We're going to have guest speakers, and we're going to have lots of information to share with you. On April the 30th, let's reclaim our future together.
Reclaim our future together. It's time to make a change that lasts forever.
I was undercover and had just recovered the stolen artwork, but...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long. I found the art thief in France, but ended up becoming somewhat of a local celebrity. So I had to stick around for a while. But I was able to handle all my insurance needs with CG's online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hello, Cayman. It's Heyman Rankin, your candidate for Bordentown West. I'm inviting all of you to my final public meeting before the big vote on Election Day. It's happening this Tuesday, the 29th of April at 7 p.m. right at the entrance to Northwood Road. This is our last chance to come together and discuss the issues that matter most before we head to the polls on the 30th. I'll be sharing my vision and connecting with each and every one of you. I am Heyman Rankin, and I'm ready to listen, ready to lead, and deliver the change Cayman desperately needs. See you Tuesday, 7 p.m. at the entrance of Northwood Road.
Ranking needs you one for we. Give him the vote and you will see.
That was a paid political announcement.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Sorry. Good morning. No, that's later. That's later on. Later on talk today. Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning with Mr. Jordan Rivers. Also in the studio with us, Miss Jeeva Richards, and Miss Julie Hunter. I think Miss Jeeva, you were
Yes.
ready.
As it relates to election and, higher turnout, or for all intents and purposes, expectation of higher turnout, I think that is indicative of where we are as a country, and the fact that more people are not pleased in the direction that we're going. I encourage everyone, every registered voters, to come out to vote, whether it's today or throughout the week. That was going. East End today has mobile voting, but on election day, if you missed the option to come out, turn up, exercise your democratic right. It is your right and our right to participate in the selection of the people that are going to lead our country. And it's your opportunity to ensure that you elect people that are going to change the direction of the trajectory of this country in a way that we want, that people want, and it's going to be positive. So that's my plug. Make sure you turn up on that day. Do not miss your opportunity. Also, as a reminder, as we were talking, there are referendum questions on the ballot this year. There are 3. I would say take opportunity between now and election day. Do some research. There is information out there on for each of those questions, in terms of what it entails, what they're seeking to do, and exercise your vote, or and share your opinion, because that's what it is. While it's not a people initiated referendum which is binding, it is a good pulse indication of what, and we, the CINP, will ensure that whatever the people wants is going to be a part of what forms our plans for the next 4 years. So I think it's extremely important, again, for people to turn up and vote both for your candidate and on those referendum questions.
And to add to what you said, Jeeva, as I've canvassed, a lot of people said to me, I'm not voting because it doesn't make any difference. I've voted for X number of years, and I don't see any change in leadership. I don't see any change in West Bay, talking about West Bay specifically. And, I said to them, but if you don't vote, then you're active voting for what you don't want, because you're disenfranchised, and you say you don't see any change. But how are you going to get change if you're not willing to exercise your democratic right and vote for a new direction, vote for a new candidate? You can't say that I've never been in, so you don't know what I'll do. You just go in by past performance, but you can't base my candidacy on past performance. So I say to them, but I also had a number of them say to me, two completely different spectrum. As I showed up by the door, a lot of them said to me that knew me, say, Miss Julie, I'm going to tell you straight up, if you hadn't run, I was not going to vote. Not meaning me particularly, but if they didn't have another choice. They said, I had already said I was not going to vote this year. I said, thank God you ran, because now we have a choice. So I've had it both ways. But I've encouraged people, you have to exercise that democratic right, come out and vote. I also want to make a big plug for our final CINP rally. You can't miss our rally. I know the Purple Train has excited people all over this island, from East End to West Bay. That Purple Train is alive and well.
And the Sister Islands.
And the Sister Islands. Yes.
Shout out to Dan and Nicholas.
Yes, Dan and Nicholas. We're actually going over on Saturday for their big rally. Yes, we're going over. The Purple Train is going to be in the Cayman Brack first, and then coming back down to Grand Cayman. So Saturday night in Cayman Brack, and for the big rally there, final rally, and Monday night at the A.L. Thompson parking lot for our final rally here in Grand Cayman. Inviting everybody. You're not going to want to miss those final rallies.
What I'll add to that real quick is this. We have an Espresso Your Vote youth social event for a stronger Cayman Brack. That's going to be Sunday, April 27th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Cabana Kai Cafe. I'm going to shout it out again. Sunday, April 27th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Cabana Kai Cafe in the BRAC. That's an espresso your vote. So that's a youth event from 18 to 35. And I want to see more young people in the BRAC. I know a lot of them come over here a lot of the times, but I want to see them in their own environment and actually just push how they feel. Let's have a conversation, guys. This is about you. This is about the future.
And the social that we had here, the youth social that we had here 2 weeks ago, was extremely well attended, and we got
I
so much.
wish we had more time for it. I would have loved another one, man. It was so good.
Excellent.
So, Jordan, as far as your constituents and campaigning, let's talk about your meetings, what you have left to do.
Unfortunately, I have no more public meetings. I'm hitting door to door to door to door to door. I got to catch everyone that I have not had the opportunity of meeting up until this point in time. But I'll trust me, as soon as I am all of today and then all of Sunday and then come Monday before our final meetings and whatnot, I'll be hitting door to door. On Tuesday, the 29th, I'll be having my final meeting for 7 o'clock on Andresen Road near Cobalt Coast. For all the West Bay North voters, I'm going to stress this again. You don't want to miss this. Like I told you, I started my campaign with transparency, honesty, and bringing the next generation forward. And I promise you I'm going to end my campaign that way, because if we do not hold these people accountable, if we do not hold all these bad actors accountable, there's no purpose for the CINP to exist. We are here to change the dynamic of Cayman politics. And the same way I started my campaign with this party is the same way I'm going to end it, with an explosion. And it's going to be a massive truth bomb come April 29th.
And to be perfectly honest, we would need to be here if those actors that have been in this field for a very long time had done their job properly.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to be here. We wouldn't have a new party called the CINP. But that's the reason this party was formed, because we saw so much of a need, because we weren't seeing the results for our island that we need to see, and so many people were getting disenfranchised. And we as a people were just losing our voice. We're only 35% in our own country, guys. That's a statistic that we cannot forget.
Yeah. And
I'll tie that right back into what you're saying about it. We wouldn't be here to CINP, but certainly we wouldn't have seen the mass increase in registrations and people wanting and the predicted high turnout if people did not want change. So very much like Jordan, I know I'm going to remind everybody that I have a meeting tonight. That's tonight, Friday, 25th of April. It's going to be 7:30 p.m. It's going to be at Paccasac, opposite on Seaview Road, opposite the Pirates Cove Bar. And it's going to be, while it's going to be a less heavily formal event, I will have a guest speaker that you will not want to miss. He's very known to us in the district, so please come out and listen to him. And to just to wrap this up, like Jordan says, sometimes we need to make sure that we're giving truth back to the people, and we're doing critical analysis, because we have a tendency sometimes to forget things unless they happened just recently. So the recency bias is real.
Yep.
And Caymanians forget really easily.
Yeah.
They forget easily what has happened.
We sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
The unfortunate rug is looking like a mini Mount Trashmore right now.
Yeah, sorry.
And Ms. Jeeva, you did mention the fact that in your district, the number of postal ballots that you've seen
Absolutely.
as well.
It is my understanding it is the highest of all districts or all constituencies for this election process. There are over 70. Right? To give an example, my understanding was if in some of the other constituencies, for example, Southwest, Georgetown South, they had 35 yesterday, and Miss Julie, by comparison, had about 40.
West, I think, had 40.
40.
Jordan, do you have any idea North?
If you're looking at those numbers, it's almost double or more than double anywhere else.
East End won't change.
The country wants change.
The country wants change, but East End won't change.
I
tell you, this is why we're pushing so hard to get rid of these bad actors in every shape and form. We want to bring integrity back to the House of Parliament. Exactly. This is why we all gathered together.
Right. And we can't forget, we need to emphasize that this country is going in or coming out of an election with a potential deficit in the budget, where we've ended up here because of the current style of spending in the government, right?
Correct.
So we need to make sure that there's accountability for our money, the people's money. And
just add to you real quick, that is the deficit. We're not even talking about the debt.
No, we're not talking about the debt. We're talking about the projected deficit.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
Right. And this is after operating
Don't
with
let-
a
don't let 'em hide it
$1.1
from you
billion
guys. Don't-
budget.
Yes.
So,
Man, look here, Cayman does not have a money-making problem, We have a money-spending problem, a transparency
spending,
problem,
yeah,
an
and-
accountability problem, and a character problem, quite frankly, at this stage. But we guess we got to get this country back on track, guys.
So-
I guess because we're almost out of time here now. On behalf of myself, the Cayman Islands National Party, Jeeva, Miss Julie, we just want to thank you guys for this election cycle. For a lot of us, it's been a very eye-opening experience. Come out to all of our meetings, show support for the number one team in the Cayman Islands, the Cayman Islands National Party. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you in your respective districts come April 30th. We will be out and about, busy like bees. And come May 1st, when we are elected your new government, we are bringing this country back on track from the clutches and the peril of those that have spent the past 25 plus years ripping us off for selfish greed and selfish investment and special interest.
Okay, Miss Julie, final comments?
I think Jordan summed it up. Oh, he summed it up very well, as he always does. But I just think that, like Jordan said, we just need to put integrity and decency, transparency back into our government. For too long we've had self-interest, and we need to put it back to where we stop playing politics with our people's future. That is the crux of it. We just need to realize that the more politics we play, the more people it's affecting, and that's why we have so many people now don't have houses, living on streets, living in parks, so we're spending money on the wrong things, OC, and we need to get back where we ask that fundamental question: when we're going to spend the country's money, how is this going to affect positively our Caymanian people? And if it's not going to affect us positively, then the answer is no. Then we wouldn't have these 26.2 million projected budget, because we would have spent the money in the right way. Look at what's happening now. We're told as candidates that we can't do anything during election period to say, well, we're doing enhancing the country or anything, because it's going to look like vote buying. So I can't fix up my park, I can't put lights, I can't do anything. But look at the amount of asphalt that is being put on the roads during this week alone. Look at the amount of drains, the amount of speed bumps that these current everything is getting fixed from a government standpoint that they should have been doing for 4 years.
Yep.
But we can't do anything. I don't know if you can explain that.
Using our money to buy our vote.
Yeah, using our money to buy votes, but we can't do it.
Okay,
Yes.
Ms. Jeeva?
For me, I want to remind the people that your MP, the person that you elect to represent you, is by definition a public servant. They are intended to serve the people. You're hiring them for a job. Their job is to be your representative locally, nationally, and internationally. So selecting the persons that can do that is extremely critical. So I want to thank everybody for listening to the CINP, for taking the time to come out to our meetings, follow us online, but also we encourage them to read the manifesto, come out to the remaining meetings that we have, come out to the rallies, reach out to your candidates, ask the questions that you have, because we are here to answer them, and we want to be the servants to the people.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in the event that I'm not sure if you all are booked any day next week, but in the event that I
this is my
don't
final.
see you again, I want to wish all three of you all the best in the elections as well, and look forward to more conversations after the 30th of April.
Yes, sir.
As well. Folks, I want to thank all of you who tuned in this morning, those of you who sent in comments and questions as well. I want to remind you, we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join me at 12:15 for Talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
The preceding was a paid political broadcast. For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
We are Radio Cayman, covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
One